In 2022, we saw the 22 car win the NASCAR Cup Series championship. Well, what about 2024? Can we see the 24 car win the championship? We're going to talk about that today. William Byron, his chances at winning the 2024 NASCAR Cup Series championship. And we're going to do his championship case today. These are not predictions. We do this for all 16 playoff drivers. So, as I said, we're going to talk about William Byron, his season so far, the playoff schedule, how he's done at these tracks, and build a championship case for him. So far this season, William Byron has 3 wins. Those came in the Daytona 500, Circuit of the Americas, and Martinsville. He has 7 top 5s, 12 top 10s, which is tied for second most in NASCAR. He's led 236 laps, and he has 1 stage win. So he has 16 playoff points to his name. And that's point number 1. Get yourself some playoff points. There's no such thing as too many playoff points. I say this for every video. Get as many as you can. He currently sits 6th in the regular season standings. He's in a very close point battle. He's only 3 points ahead of 8th. 22 points behind 5th, and I think 5th is realistically the highest he can get. So if you can get 5th in the regular season standings, get yourself 6 extra playoff points, get a win or get a playoff point from a stage win, get as many playoff points as you can entering the playoffs because, as I said, there's no such thing as too many playoff points, and with how wild this schedule is, you never know when you're going to need them. Looking at this first round of Atlanta, Watkins Glen, and Bristol. Atlanta, it's really a good start for William Byron. He's won multiple times at Atlanta, and not just at Atlanta, but the reconfigured, the restyled Super Speedway Atlanta. He won the first one back in 2022, and he won the one last fall. So technically, he's the defending winner of this race, even though it was in the summer, not the fall, like I said. So he has 2 wins at this track, but his numbers do kind of vary outside of that. He is a 17th this past spring, a couple of 30s in there, but as I said, he does have those wins. So it's a track that he's won at, a track that he's won at multiple times, and he knows how to get it done. He knows how to run up front there. And then it's the same story with this next track. He's the defending winner at Watkins Glen. So he's the defending race winner in these first 2 racetracks. He's got a great shot of just winning his way into the next round. And we've seen this trend recently. 2018 and 2019, Chase Elliott wins. 2021, 2022, Kyle Larson wins. 2023, William Byron. Can Byron become the 3rd Hendrick driver to go back-to-back at the Glen? There's a good chance. He's looked really good on the road courses in this next-gen era. He won his first road course race last year at Watkins Glen. He dominated in the spring at the Circuit of the Americas. He's much improved at these road courses in the next-gen car. So I think he has an incredible opportunity to compete for the win, if not run top 5. So I think he's going to score stage points, run really well in this race. Might even win it. Then we go to Bristol. Byron has 3 top 10s in the last 4 races, including 2 top 5s. And the spring was a weird race. He crashed out early, had to hit the wall, something like that. And ultimately, what came down to wrecking his finish is literally wrecking the car. But as I said, other than that, really good numbers at Bristol. I expect him to run top 10 in this race at worst. So this first round, I'm not too concerned about. I think he'll get out of it. He has the points. He's really good at these 3 tracks. I think he'll be fine. Then we go to the second round. It's Kansas, Talladega, and the Roval. I will say I was a little bit surprised looking at Byron's numbers at Kansas. They're not exactly the prettiest. He has a couple top 10s. He has a 3rd place finish back in the spring of 2023, but his last 2 finishes are 23rd and 15th. Not great. He hasn't scored stage points at Kansas in the last 3 races. That is concerning. But he's won at mile and a halfs recently. He won at Las Vegas last spring. He won at Texas last year. So he's won at mile and a halfs. But for some reason, Kansas seems to be some sort of curse, maybe. Something's just gone wrong there. They just haven't completely figured it out. So I think realistically, though, if Byron, I remember in the spring, he hit the wall in qualifying. That really just ruined their day. But if they can just go mistake-free that weekend, qualify well, race well, I think they get a top 10. I think they could compete with Larson, Hamlin, Reddick for the win, but I think at worst they run top 10. I think they score stage points. I think they'll be fine. Then we go to Talladega. And William Byron has 3 straight top 10s at Talladega, including a runner-up in the fall of 2023. So Byron's run well at Talladega. He's run really good at the super speedways as a whole. He won the Daytona 500 this year, 2 Atlanta race wins, and back in the Gen 6 era, he won at Daytona. So he knows how to get it done at these super speedways, just hasn't quite got it done yet at Talladega. In fact, in the next gen era, his worst finish is 15th. So, yeah, he's qualified well there. He's raced well there. He's scored stage points there. He's won stages. So as long as he doesn't get caught up in wrecks, he should be fine. And as I usually say with these other guys, yeah, if you wreck, someone else in the playoffs is going to wreck, because that's just ultimately how it goes down with these super speedway races, especially with the impact of the playoffs. And as for the Roval is a track that he's improved on. He finished second in this race last year. He's led 20-plus laps in 3 races at the Roval. He scored stage points. So, as I said earlier, he's much improved on the road courses. I expect him to be running up front, running really well in this race, and he could very well compete for the win. So Kansas is a little bit of a concern, but realistically, I think they'll rebound. I think they'll be fine. They'll run in the top 10. Talladega, avoid the trouble, and the Roval, just score stage points. You should be fine to go to this round of 8, and this round of 8 has a few good tracks for Byron, starting at Las Vegas, where he won in the spring of 2023. He was running really well in this race in the spring this year before a trash bag hit his car. They've just had some weird luck this year, it's safe to say. So I think he'll run really well. He's qualified in the top 5 in the last 4 races in this race. So I expect him to run well. I expect him to be up front, even competing for the win here. He is much better at Las Vegas than he is at Kansas. As I said, he has a win here. It was a dominant win. He swept the stages. He scored stage points here. He'll compete for the win here. I expect him to do just that. Then we go to Homestead. He has a win here, but it isn't a Gen 6 car. But he finished 4th in this race last year, ran top 5 the majority of the race, and I expect him to do that again. Once again, Byron's an extremely consistent driver. He can run well almost everywhere. But I will say I think Homestead's the weakest of these 3, but it's not even that big of a weakness. It's not like I think he's going to run 15th to 20th. And then Martinsville. He's the most recent winner at Martinsville. He's won twice at Martinsville in the next gen era. He knows how to get it done here. So ultimately with William Byron, I think this round of 8 is actually really good for him. He's got a good shot of winning any of these races. I'd say Martinsville's number 1, Vegas number 2, and then number 3, Homestead. But he's got a really good chance of, even if he doesn't win, top 5ing in all these races and advancing to the championship 4 with the points he has. And then at Phoenix, as I always say, it's a crapshoot. Anything can happen, blah, blah, blah. Same thing I said for Larson, and that's that, it didn't run great in the spring. He did score some stage points, but finished 18th, qualified better than Larson did, and ran better than Larson did. But ultimately, Phoenix was not great for Chevy in the spring. Toyota looked really good. But other than that, he's got multiple top 5s. He's got a win at Phoenix. He's got a great opportunity to get the win. So can William Byron get it done in 2024, the 24 car in 2024? Let me know in the comments. So in conclusion, first round, you should be fine. Second round, not the prettiest with Kansas and Talladega. Things can happen, but the Roval should be competing for the win. That's good enough. You should score enough points. And then that third round, really good round for you. If you can get there, you've got a great shot of winning any one of those races and potentially advancing to the championship 4, which anything can happen. So thank you for watching this video. Tomorrow will be Christopher Bell. We'll talk about his chances of winning the championship. I got a playlist loaded up if you've missed anyone so far. We've done Larson, Elliott, Hamlin, Reddick, Blaney, and now Byron. That's number 6. Check. So thanks for watching this video again. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you tomorrow for the Christopher Bell Championship case.